pretty interesting what we see going on Twitter with Nomiki Konst. Konst? Nomiki Konst going after Jimmy Dore, saying he took Assad money. Um, so while in fact Nomiki was in Libya doing work with the uh, National Democracy Initiative? National Democratic Institute, NDI, National Democratic Institute in Libya, which gets its funding from NED, National Endowment for Democracy, and USAID. NED in particular is more or less a front for the CIA. So Nomiki was calling out Jimmy Dore for supposedly taking Assad money. When she was in Libya, the organization NDI, National Democratic Institute, I got it right that time, who gets some of their funding from the CIA, along with corporations like Chevron and Amazon and a lot of other really sketchy folks. So here it is. I'm not making this shit up. Who supports her work? Democratic Institute. The National Endowment for Democracy supports them. The United States Agency for International Development and the U.S. Department of State. Oh, some very, very progressive funders there, Nomiki, for this work that you did while you were supposedly calling out Jimmy Dore for taking Assad money. It's disgusting. Also, the World Bank. Yeah, that's structural readjustment programs that the World Bank imposes along with the IMF and all these countries in the global south in order to get funding for them. That's a really progressive funding source there for this organization you went and did work with in Libya, Nomiki. Amazon, another really great organization there. Yes. Bezos has increased his wealth by tens or hundreds of billions during this pandemic while striking back at workers trying to unionize. Great funding source there. Google, Chevron. That sounds all right. International Union of Bricklayers and Allied Craft Workers, but Coca-Cola, Visa, for God's sakes. And then obviously the worst ones, in my opinion, are probably National Endowment for Democracy, which is just a cutout for the CIA, and another regime change arm for the U.S. government, USAID, and obviously the State Department as well. And so that was Nomiki. Yeah, Jimmy Dore's so bad, we can't believe anything he says. He took Assad money. But in actuality, Dan Cohen is right. This was $2,500 from a U.S. Anti-war group. And this group that Jimmy Dore got some money from, he won the award from Serena Shim Award back in 2017 for uncompromised integrity in journalism. So about the award, the Serena Shim Award for uncompromised integrity in journalism honors non-mainstream journalists. I would definitely say Jimmy Dore is that, and does it in a very funny way, who continue to tell challenging truths in difficult times. I definitely think Jimmy Dore fits that bill as well. If you hate him, like him, or indifferent, I think that's, definitely true. The funds provided by this award enable these courageous journalists to continue their work in an environment that penalizes them for their clarity of vision and willingness to expose the powerful. And honoring Serena Shim, 1985-2014, was an American journalist working for Iranian broadcaster Press TV, reporting from the Turkish-Syrian border. She reported about fighters from ISIS crossing from Turkey into Syria, disguised in trucks carrying the symbol of NGOs and the World Food Program. Serena told her employers she was threatened by Turkish intelligence and accused of espionage. 2 days later, she was suddenly killed in a suspicious car accident in 2014. Circumstances of which have remained murky since that time. She was threatened by the Turkish intelligence. She continued to report despite her well-founded fears and paid the ultimate price for her uncompromised integrity in journalism. Wow. Powerful. It's that's powerful, and really awesome that they're honoring her and kind of the mission that she had to just, cover these important things going on in the world, no matter at what cost. And so this is the Assad money that Nomiki supposedly said that Jimmy Dore was receiving. I mean, yeah, indeed, she could tell us how much the U.S. government's regime change arm NDI paid her to train the opposition in Libya. It's only fair. And then here is this clip of Nomiki on the Majority Report, which she often is a guest contributor or co-host along with Sam Cedar and Emma Vigeland now, and just really spouting some really elitist stuff, basically saying that Jimmy Dore, he's not grounded in political theory, he doesn't have professional experience as an organizer, so should we really listen to whatever he's saying?
I think what's becoming clear, and what is clear with Jimmy Dore in particular, is that this is not about pressuring politicians to do something. This is not
I completely disagree with that, Sam Cedar. What exactly is it about? This is a historic time. We're probably not going to have, hopefully, a better time than this with the economic crisis, the tens of millions of people losing their health care because they lost their jobs. People are really struggling, hurting right now. And if we're able to, because of these extraordinary circumstances we're in, pressure the politicians to actually try to move the ball in this issue, why the fuck would we not do that? That makes no sense, Sam.
A long-term strategy to empower the most progressive forces in the Democratic Party to get real change.
How are these progressive forces if they're not willing to actually stand up and fight to get a vote for Medicare for All, to see who actually supports it and who doesn't? I mean, it's like, again, they're attacking Jimmy Dore for coming up with a pretty decent idea, or obviously other people have probably mentioned it as well. They're just attacking the messenger because they don't like Jimmy Dore, while not really refuting any of the arguments Jimmy Dore is making, in my opinion.
About him trying to prove, and it's an easy thing to do, at least in terms of what his requirements for proof are, him trying to prove that they're all frauds, and that really the only true person out there is him.
Or the guy who took Assad money.
This Assad money Nomiki is talking about there, again, we saw was from a group that gave Jimmy Dore award for reporting and covering things in a way that the mainstream media doesn't, showing his courage and ethics in that. What does that have to do with Assad, Nomiki? It's just complete bullshit and mischaracterization, while conveniently leaving out how she got money from a group that's literally funded by the fucking CIA, okay? Like, really? Really? And Jimmy Dore is supposedly pro-Assad because he's been calling out the bullshit with, like, the chemical weapons attacks and our U.S. imperialism in Syria, in the Middle East. Get the fuck out of here. Like, you are a imperialist. You literally took money from a group that is funded by the CIA, cutout, the U.S. fucking State Department, and USAID, another form of, imperialism from the U.S. government. Get the fuck out of here.
Like, sorry. He accepted money. So there's the Jimmy Dore issue, which is fueled by anything from having an agenda, clickbait,
and here she goes with this elitist shit.
Making left commentary, frankly, cheap, because it's not nuanced and it's not sophisticated and it's not like he has a background in political theory or organizing.
Oh, so I guess the only people that can share their thoughts on politics, on what's going on in the world, is people who have, a master's in political science, or somebody with a decades plus experience organizing in the workplace or organizing. Get the fuck out of here. Everybody is entitled to their opinion. Just because you don't think they are educated enough or well enough read or whatever. That's such fucking elitist fucking bullshit. It's disgusting, frankly.
or frankly any politics.
It's gross.
We don't have actual movement leaders out there, like real movement directing the left. And so what happens is he's sucking up that voice.
Again, I don't necessarily think we need so-called movement leaders to tell people what to do, how to think, how to act. I think we need as many people as possible, involved trying to work towards positive progressive change, and that can look a lot of different ways, and we don't need these cardboard cutout, leaders in quotes to tell people how to get things accomplished, because that's a very top-down, elitist, hierarchical approach. And I guess that's kind of Nomiki's worldview on how change happens. I just completely disagree with that.
Like he's taking over that void and preying on people's vulnerabilities right now. People are angry and they're concerned and they don't know where to channel their energy, partly because institutions have been dismantled on the left who want to be multimillionaires and famous. And, let's just make those lines very clear. Yeah. So for and not to mention, he has taken money admitted to taking money from pro-Assadist group.
Fuck, man. I mean, Jesus Christ. And if you just take this shit at value, Jimmy Dore's an Assad apologist. He took pro-Assad money. He took money from a peace group. He's not Assad apologist to be an anti-imperialist and think that the U.S. government, CIA should have never been in fucking Syria to begin with. It's disgusting. You're really showing your imperialist roots right here, Nomiki. For fuck's sake. Again, her trip to Libya, the work that she was doing there was literally funded by the fucking CIA. And you're supporting the notion that the war in Libya, the overthrowing of the Gaddafi government was okay. So you're a supporter of fucking U.S. imperialism. You're not a true revolutionary. You're fucking a liberal masquerading as a progressive. You can't be a progressive if you're not anti-imperialist. Get the fuck out of here.
So he's not the pure guy that he wants to pretend.
And you are taking money from the fucking organization that is funded by the U.S. State Department and the fucking 2 CIA cutouts for regime change. STFU, man. Come on.
I like Jimmy.
He had a problem with those pro-Assad groups, to be honest with you. I mean, I don't...
Neither did Tulsi. But that's the problem. He can't...
So obviously, Vigeland and Cedar are also showing that they're not really concerned with anti-imperialism. They're not concerned with the U.S. empire, how we've destroyed countries all over the world, because I don't know, they're not true leftists in my opinion. You're not a real revolutionary if you're not an anti-imperialist, and that's, again, why these are faux progressives in a lot of ways. It's disgusting.
Taking money from anybody that's not your audience means you're technically not pure, right?
So you then, right?
Yes. Politicians are not going to do revolutionary change in that regard.
Then you need to force their hand, Sam. How are we going to get the radical revolutionary change that we need in this shithole country that is the United States? Come on.
Our system is not such that they can.
Then you force the hand. You make the system change. Again, systems are made up of people. They can be changed as well. So again, just a bunch of fucking... It's disgusting. Yeah, most of her criticism is really elitist, for sure. She seems to think that he's somehow sucking away people would be being led by people with backgrounds, i.e. her. Exactly. Nope, that's not how you get change done. You got to listen to me, the movement leader. I actually know what's best for you. It's disgusting. So there's her talking about the NDI, the organization that's funded by these CIA cutouts in the U.S. State Department. They're literally, once Gaddafi was overthrown, open air fucking slave markets started in Libya because of the power vacuum. It's another war we obviously should have never got in to begin with. And how Obama, escalated when he took office from 2 wars to 7. And look at the disastrous consequences. And Nomiki seems completely okay with that. I mean, again, doing work there that's funded by the fucking CIA. It's disgusting. No, look, yeah, she's literally bragging about saying NATO needed to intervene in the fucking Libya. That is disgusting. Again, you're showing your imperialist fucking roots, and we don't need any more people with these huge, massive platforms that are in favor of that. They need to be called out. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. Also grateful. Yeah, sure. Go talk to some of the people that were sold into fucking slavery after NATO intervened. Get the fuck out of here. I mean, it's disgusting. And just for a little bit of receipts, look at all the fucked up shit the USAID is involved with. Get back here. Where did you go? The gray zone. They had this USAID. But to do it without video because I don't know where that went exactly. But look, this was one of the organizations that funds National Democratic Institute organization Nomiki Konst took funds from to fund her work in Libya. Here we go. Wait, that's not it. While Trump cuts food stamps, USAID, again, USAID, a big funder of the group Nomiki worked with in Libya, USAID bankrolls Venezuelan regime change with $500 million in tax dollars. Coronavirus stimulus bill funds State Department USAID operation that helped trigger polio outbreak in Syria. I mean, for fuck's sake. American humanitarianism regime change armed USAID discusses embedding aid workers with military and intelligence. I mean, this is who Nomiki Konst is bragging about, working with this organization that was funded by the humanitarian regime fucking change arm, USAID, along with the National Endowment for Democracy, which is also really horrible. Let's see. And this is about National Endowment for Democracy, another CIA cutout that supports the National Democratic Institute, which, again, Nomiki Konst was working on behalf of while in Libya. Right, what is it looking at? This one. The puppeteer. A wary Congress only agreed to create NED, National Endowment for Democracy, in 1983 on the condition that the CIA not be involved, something then CIA Director William Casey promised but didn't follow through on. I mean, it's literally a cutout for regime change and imperialism and a front for the fucking CIA and, these capitalist interests. I mean, it's disgusting. Overall, ends track record decidedly tilts to the right. I mean, that's who Nomiki was bragging about working with. So, again, pretty interesting. She calls Jimmy Dore some Assad apologist taking Assad money when in fact he got this money from a pro-peace group. And it's just disgusting. She's an imperialist through and through, saying NATO needed to intervene in Libya to stop the civil war, which the war in Libya, the intervention, whatever you want to call it, has caused a massive amount of harm and suffering. And again, just the fucking fact it brought back slavery to that country by overthrowing Gaddafi. And she's like bragged about it, thought that was a good idea while taking money from this group that is funded by the fucking CIA and these other State Department regime change organizations that like to pose as being humanitarian. Get the fuck out of here. And again, talking down and that just that whole elitism, like that's not going to bring anybody to your side. And you're not a true progressive unless you're anti-imperialist. And Nomiki Konst and I mean Sam Cedar and Emma Vigeland don't appear to be, didn't seem, I mean at least from that clip, didn't really seem to be calling her out on any of this either, because they're all also both Jimmy Dore haters, and not really, arguing about the substance of what he's saying and just attacking his personal character. And I think that's frankly very telling. Share your thoughts down below. Peace. Much love.